It's 2 a.m. Your app just went viral. Traffic is 10 times what you planned for. Containers are crashing, restarting, crashing again. You're logging into servers one by one, trying to figure out which container runs where, which one just died. You restart one, another crashes. You scale up manually, but the new container lands on a server that's already maxed out. By the time things are stable, half your users have left. This is the exact problem Kubernetes was built to solve. You already know Docker. It solved packaging. Your app runs in containers. It's portable. Great. But Docker doesn't tell you where to run those containers, how many to run, or what to do when one dies. That's orchestration. And that's what Kubernetes does. Kubernetes is a container orchestrator. You tell it what you want. Run 3 copies of my app, keep them healthy, spread them across my servers. And it figures out how. Think of it like an operating system, but for your entire cluster. You declare your desired state, and Kubernetes makes it real. So how is Kubernetes actually structured? 2 halves: the control plane, the brain, and worker nodes, the muscle. The control plane runs 4 components: the API server, the front door for every command; the scheduler, which decides which node runs each pod; the controller manager, which compares what you asked for to what's actually running and fixes any drift; and etcd, a key value store holding the entire cluster's state. If etcd goes down, the cluster loses its memory. On the worker side, each node runs a kubelet that manages containers, kube proxy for networking, and a container runtime, like containerd. Now, in Docker, you run containers directly. In Kubernetes, the smallest unit is a pod, a thin wrapper around one or more containers. Containers in the same pod share the same network. They talk on localhost and share storage. Most pods run one container. Sometimes you add a sidecar for logging or proxying. The pod is the atom of Kubernetes. Everything else builds on it. You don't create pods directly, too fragile. Instead, you create a deployment. You declare, I want 3 replicas of my app, and Kubernetes makes it happen. Now here's the magic: self-healing. If a pod crashes, the controller manager notices. Desired state says 3, actual says 2, so it spins up a replacement automatically. No pager, no script, no human. This reconciliation loop, desired state, actual state, diff, act, runs constantly. That's the core of Kubernetes. Now here's the next problem. Pods are ephemeral. Every restart gives them a new IP address. So how does your front end reliably talk to your back end? With a service. A service gives you one stable address that always routes to the right pods. It load balances across healthy pods, and when pods get replaced, routing updates automatically. Cluster IP for internal traffic, node port for external access, or load balancer for internet traffic. And now the real power. When traffic spikes, the horizontal pod autoscaler creates more pods automatically. 3 becomes 6. 6 becomes 12. When traffic drops, it scales back. And when you deploy a new version, Kubernetes replaces pods one at a time. New pod up, old pod down, until everything's updated. Your app is never unavailable. If the new version crashes, it rolls back automatically. Zero downtime. This is how Netflix and Spotify ship dozens of updates a day. So let's zoom out. Kubernetes isn't just a tool. It's the operating system of the cloud. AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, they all offer managed Kubernetes. EKS, GKE, AKS. Same API, same concepts, same YAML. Your workloads are portable. You're not locked to one vendor. At scale, you're managing a fleet of self-healing, auto-scaling microservices. Declare what you want. Kubernetes makes it real. Same everywhere.